We went to Publix. They don't tell you anything. Like Kroger's and everything else bends over backwards. Put the card in the thing and type your thing in and do the thing.
Yeah.
Dude's like, it's ready. It's time for me to put the card in. He didn't say anything. He just stared at me. He's like, well, you can tap it or you can stick it in there. It doesn't matter. I was like,
yeah.
You can take me to dinner first.
That's right. We bad. That's right.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, made with high fructose corn syrup. Now give it up for your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 164. We're happy that you're listening. We're hoping that this is going to be a great episode.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. On tonight's show, I am going to talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Mike hasn't seen it at the time, so I'm not going to spoil it for him.
Yeah, we don't really see movies anymore, it seems. We keep saying that we're going to see movies, and we just don't. We're so far behind on Marvel and everything else.
Well,
we just don't see movies.
If you don't go to the theater, they'll be on one of the streamers within a month.
But then I'm like, I don't want to watch it like that.
We didn't go see... Well, I don't mind, because I've got a big... I don't mean to brag. We when we bought our house, it came with a movie room.
Yeah,
We've got a big movie room downstairs.
Yeah.
And so we did not see the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks later, it was available on
there you go.
Peacock.
Longtime listeners will say,
something.
Is that those dogs again? And yes, it is those dogs. We can't shut them up because what they do is so Booba, longtime listeners, you know who Booba is, you know who Marbles is.
Yep.
Booba is currently sick of Marbles and she won't play with him the way he wants to play all the time because he wants to play and he can't play very well because he's on a chain and she gets tired of him. And he gets jacked up around this time, around 9 o'clock every night, and he starts barking at her to play with him, and then she barks back, and that's what they do. If we put him outside, they go to the end of the yard, and they bark at the neighbors.
Yeah.
So we have to bring him in, because one of these days, the neighbors is going to be like, shut up! And I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
So it's just chaos. So you'll hear a dog yapping and bitching.
Yeah, and moaning.
At random.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Welcome to the show.
I do want to throw a parenting fail out that happened on our vacation trip. I didn't include it in last episodes. It'll be very quick. We're having dinner or whatever that meal is before you get on a plane. I know time has no meaning in airports.
That's true.
And someone makes the comment that Joe Burrow smokes cigars.
Okay.
And then
I've seen the picture of him smoking a cigar.
And then my wife said, yeah, Joe Burrow is cool. I'm like, wow. Wow.
Hey, kids.
It's like,
smoke a cigar and you could be cool like Joe Burrow.
It's like the opposite of those commercials. You're not, you went back, you went the other way. And as soon as she said that, she realized what came out of her mouth, and she looks over at me and starts laughing because I am, and this is an airport, I drink a beer when I'm at the airport. I don't know what time it was. It could have been 9 a.m. for all I know. And I'm like, I'm there with my beer, like, hey, you're talking about how cool it is to smoke cigars, and Daddy's waking and baking with a freaking beer.
I don't think Waking and Bacon has... that's different.
Side note, in one of the gift shops, they had Wake and Bake mugs. Did you see those?
No. I didn't go to the airport. We drove.
Well, I know in the little gift shops at the Destin.
Oh, yeah.
You can put coffee in the mug, and then the handle is like a pipe. It comes around and you put your...
Come on.
You put your confectionaries on the other side and light them. I'm like, that's... One of them was the Hulk fist.
Yeah.
You smoked through Hulk's thumb.
Wow.
Welcome to the show.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Diff Liquid Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper. With its unique enzyme action, Diff dissolves old paste and cuts wallpaper removal time in half. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I'm a happily married man. One thing the little wife and I like to do is strip wallpaper. It really helps us keep the spark alive, and it could work for you too. Put on some Berry White, pour a couple of glasses of wine, and break out the Diff. Things will get steamy real quick, even though no steamer is needed when using Diff. So run out to your corner hardware store and grab a bottle of Diff. Your marriage will last forever and ever. Now back to you guys in the studio.
the last episode we talked about our trip to Florida. Okay. And I didn't get into a couple of stories.
Our separate but equal
trip to Florida. Yeah. At the same time, we were going down there and packing up everything. We drove, Mike and Bess and the kids, they flew. But we drove, and it took about 16 hours to get down there. It was a long time to be in the car.
Yeah.
So I was packing everything up, and Libby said, why don't you bring your Yeti cooler? When I worked at Channel 5...
Who wants a hot Yeti?
Yeah. When I worked at Channel 5, I won this Yeti cooler.
Okay.
Now, I have no idea what a Yeti cooler is, but apparently they're badass. It's like the Cadillac of coolers. Okay?
They are, if I may, the cat's meow.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a cooler. How can it be? And so I'm like, okay, I'll get it. And we hadn't used it yet. So I get this. And by the way, if you may remember that we've had the commercial run on our show for Zipper Lube.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that comes with the Yeti.
Okay.
Yeah, you get a tube of basically it's chapstick. You got to rub Zipper Lube on your Yeti.
That's an actual thing?
Yeah, to get it to zip. Yeah, the people at Zipper Lube reached out and I said, yes, we will gladly air your commercial.
We have so many fake commercials, I don't even...
Wait.
What?
Fake? What?
Sir?
Yeah, so I'm getting my cooler ready and you've got to... They recommend that you put ice in it first and then throw it out, and that cools the cooler. Because if you put if you put cold stuff in the cooler the first time, it'll like defeat the purpose. Like the warm stuff will suck out the cold stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
So we've got a downstairs freezer in our basement.
Yeah.
I put my cooler in my freezer overnight, and then I'm putting stuff, my drinks, into my Yeti cooler, and I'm opening up, and I notice that there's a little card on the top of it. It says, have you registered your Yeti?
You don't.
Why would I register a cooler?
Yeah.
What on earth, why would I register a cooler for any reason at all? To be part of the Yeti fan club? Do I get a Yeti Christmas card? It makes no sense at all to me. We haven't registered yet, but I just found that odd that you can register your cooler.
My Yeti and I are registered at Macy's.
Bed Bath & Beyond.
In some states, because you were driving, in some states it's illegal to drive without a registered Yeti.
I never thought about that. I'm glad we didn't get pulled over.
Yeah. Sasquatch will beat your ass.
He will.
Question popped up in our stream here. Are you excited you're looking forward to the new Mission Impossible?
Okay.
I am. But I am confused because Mission Impossible started doing the thing that all these other things do. They quit putting numbers in the title. So I don't know. I've missed a couple.
Right.
And I don't know what order they're in. There's Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
Your Mom.
There's Mission Impossible Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 1, 2,
Freddy's
3.
Revenge.
And those were fine. And then it went off it started having different things. So this one already just says part 1, which I like. I like that they do that. So that you know up front, it's not going to end.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
So
well, like we mentioned a couple episodes ago,
that Spider-Man bullshit.
None of these movies are going to end. Every movie you see, plan on there being at least 3 of them.
Yeah.
Just plan on it.
Yeah.
Like Pretty Woman, and then there's Pretty Woman, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
And then there's
you're gonna hold on to that one.
I am. Yeah. It's funny. Hey, it's funny.
So Indiana Jones. Let me tell you what I've heard.
Well, but I want to say something about Mission Impossible before we get to Indiana Jones. And you're going to get mad at me. You're going to get really mad at me.
Oh,
the original Mission Impossible is on Netflix or was on Netflix.
Okay.
And this was a few weeks ago. I'm like, hey, kids, gather around.
Yeah.
We're going to watch Mission Impossible. I swear to God, all 4 of us were bored out of our minds at the original Mission Impossible. The Brian De Palma Mission Impossible. It was so... It's just like it was so script oriented, and it took. Yeah, I know you're fuming.
No, I'm okay.
You're about to shit your pants. You're so mad at me.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah.
Back in the day when it came out, it was the shiznit, as the kids say.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like Cameron's like, "Can I go upstairs?" Jacob, who's usually all in.
Yeah.
It was he did the same thing. It's like, is it okay if I go downstairs and play drums? And then Libby, she and I, we fall asleep in movies all the time.
Yeah.
But all 4 of us were bored to tears. We turned it off.
Okay,
The kid's
I
like,
can see
thank
that.
you.
I can
And we
see that.
watched something else. And I haven't seen any other Mission Impossible since then.
Let me give you...
And they're probably badass.
They are badass.
Yeah.
They started putting Simon Pegg in them. Any of the ones of Simon Pegg.
He was in the that zombie.
Much needed comic relief for the movie. They are really good.
Yeah.
After the third one's dark.
Okay.
It has the guy who's not with us anymore, the villain. He's a hardcore villain.
William Hurt?
No. The other guy. He was in The Big Lebowski. He's like the little Lebowski Urban Achievers guy, the assistant to The Big Lebowski.
I don't remember. Flea?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, with the fourth Mission Impossible, they said we need some comic relief in here because the third one got a little too dark.
Yeah.
And it's Simon Pegg nails it.
Yeah.
And he is just funny enough. And then what's his name? Timothy Cruise is Tom Cruise. He's got a little humor in him, and they kind of they do well. It's good. They're really good, which pisses me off because that's when they quit numbering them. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes.
Yeah. The point is, here I would like to offer you a tit for your tat.
Oh,
okay. We watched recently The Bourne Identity.
I love The Bourne Identity.
I do too.
Yes.
And I love it so much. I actually bought the books. I have them on my Kindle, ready to go as soon as I get
I haven't seen the one with where they replaced
Jason Bateman.
No, it wasn't Jason
with
Bateman.
Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner. He was born in one of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't
Bourne
seen that
is
one.
like a name.
Okay.
It's not a.
Well, yeah, I think
Darin
that's the thing. Cox is a name.
Well, no, it's like 007. It's like you are a 007. You're a Bourne. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. I'm talking completely out of my ass. Okay. My point is,
it's every episode.
There are a lot of really cool fight scenes in The Bourne Identity. However, and I think this kind of goes hand in hand with what you were talking about with Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Mission Impossible was awesome.
Yeah.
But we've seen so many movies that have done that kind of thing better that when you go back.
Yes.
So
by comparison.
So the John Wick movies have ruined the fighting in the Bourne movies because I remember seeing the first Bourne movie in the theater with Bess. And I know you got to realize that you were in the stark minority here. It's 96%. So suck it. Just listen to my reasoning here. The Bourne, they like do all these zoomy fast cuts, and he starts to do the thing, and you don't see the thing. You can't really see everything.
And then there's another thing that you don't see.
So Wick,
what's that thing?
The Wick movies pull back, and you see every move and everything, and that's like the new thing now. Yeah, and so it makes the Bourne kind of look like how the Mission Impossibles.
Now I'm going to dispute that because I've seen 3 of the 4 Wick movies, or 2 of the. I've seen 2 of the.
Like 2
I've seen 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
Okay. Yeah. And I've also seen all 3 of the Jason Bourne, Matt Damon movies. Yeah. And I disagree.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind.
You are. Suck it.
You're out of your mind.
Okay. So my question is, if I go see Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, Dead Reckoning.
Yes.
I stole that from you, by the way.
Yeah.
Will I understand any of it?
I don't know.
See, I have no idea.
I don't know. That's why I'm scared to see it. Is that the name of the new one? Dead Reckoning Part 1?
Is it Dead Reckoning?
So does the Reckoning just get really in this one?
The Return of the Reckoning? I don't know.
Yeah. But the fourth one, man, I think that's the one. There's a scene in the fourth one where they create a fake hallway. Oh, he has this like inflatable. It's like, I don't know what the hell.
So
it's
like
Tom
Bob
Cruise.
Ross.
You know how they do the mask thing and they rip off, and it's like he's Binky or whoever, and he's not Tom Cruise anymore. He has a pocket.
Binky.
He has a hallway in his pocket.
A hallway in his pocket.
Because it's a moment. It's a moment where
I had a doorknob in my pocket.
Exactly. They're in like some embassy where they totally can't be, and if the wrong people see them, they're hello. No, we don't need any. I'm back. Like they're going to get shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I keep doing that.
I don't know. Yeah,
there it is.
Stop that.
They're in a hallway, and I think it's the Russians, if they see them, they're going to kill them immediately. And you're like, they're turning, and you're like, what is he going to? It's like Jack Tripper back in Three's Company. He would have jumped behind the couch, and Furley would have walked around. Like, oh, is he
hey, Jack, what are you doing over there?
He pulls a freaking hallway out of his pocket. He pulls a screen and goes, and you see this fabric screen pop up, and it projects an empty hallway, and they're hiding behind the fabric, and you see the Russians hold on, and they walk right up into it, and the whole time you're like, you can't do that. But then they show the other side.
Thing the Roadrunner did to the coyote.
It is. It's the Roadrunner coyote
One
thing.
Acme hole.
It is. It's awesome. They are awesome.
We're getting reports that you do not have to see them all. They're like the James Bond movies. There are some storylines that they have built on.
See, going back to James Bond, I have the James Bond collection over there. Yeah. I have been going from the beginning. I highly recommend anybody watching the James Bond movies to watch the first few. It's like watching Mad Men, but without the wink, wink, nod, nod. It's like, oh my God, they're serious.
Time to smack a bitch.
That's how he is. He's like,
get your bitch ass in the kitchen and make me a pie.
He'll be with the lady, and she'll be like, well, how do I do this? Let a man look at that. Let a man read that for you, honey. Go make me some French toast. And he just does something. You're like, you can't do that. You can't. What are you doing? Yeah. I don't know how Sean Connery has not just been like lambasted. Like, you can't. I guess they're thinking, well, he's 150 by now.
He's dead.
Oh,
newsflash.
Is he really?
He's dead. Yeah. Okay. So is Roger Moore. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't know that.
I like Roger Moore.
They tried getting all 6 James Bonds together at the Academy Awards.
Oh.
And oh my God, I think
Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton's like, I'll do it. I'm there. I'll do it.
And the one guy from the one movie.
But Pierce Brosnan was like, no, absolutely not. I would have thought Pierce Brosnan was like, absolutely. But he was like, no. And Sean Connery was like, yourself. And then he was not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know this for sure, but I think Roger Moore, was willing.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get a hold of the other two.
I read an interview.
They're in
Botswana. I read a snippet of an interview with Pierce Brosnan. And he was talking about how he was comparing the James Bonds, and he wasn't doing it in a I'm better than the other ones, but it was more of a I tried to bring a little bit of humor to it.
Yes.
But it's like he's like
Roger Moore did that.
Roger Moore did that, but Pierce did he said it's clear. I can't remember the exact quote, but he said it's clear that everything happening around my character is insane.
Yes.
And it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I attempted to act that way with a little bit of a wink and a nod. I know it's crazy, but let's just ride with it.
Yeah.
And Daniel Craig totally didn't do that. Daniel Craig, I love Daniel Craig.
Oh yeah, me too.
But his James Bond movies are, let's beat this dude brutally and then walk out of the water in the beach with my shirt off. Yeah. And then I'm going to go beat this other dude.
Yep.
And then I'm going to show my boobs again, and then back and forth. That was his movie. Casino Royale is a really good one.
That's
bleeding from the eyes.
Yeah, that one bored me. Sorry.
You get bored by things that I enjoy.
And you as well with me.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Zipper Lube. Are you tired of wasting hours of your precious time futzing around trying to open and close sticky zippers? Well, have a seat, Tony. I have a product for you. Just rub some Zipper Lube across that annoying zipper and your problems will magically disappear. Easy up, easy down, easy all around. Zipper Lube. Available wherever quality zipper-related products are sold. Now back to you, Mike and Derek.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I'm not going to spoil the movie for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Before you start, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Okay. In this timeline...
Short Round was not in it.
No.
Okay.
Are they pretending that the Alien movie didn't exist? Does it call back to that at all? Or are they just acting like, hey, that didn't happen?
If it did, I didn't notice it. I did not...
Because sometimes they do that now. They'll say, this is a direct sequel to that movie. And
they mention his son.
Shia LaBeouf.
Mutt, or whatever they called
Jeff.
him. Yeah. I can't remember his son's name.
It was Mutt. It was
Mutt. Okay,
yeah.
I thought...
that just, like, was that a play on the dog Indiana?
The dog's name was Mutt.
Yeah.
They mention him and why he's not there.
Yeah, because he sucked.
And then they mention his wife.
Okay.
So
Marion.
Yeah, Marion.
Yeah.
So they do mention that
Okay.
hey, that alien, that was wild, wasn't it? Wasn't that
Yeah.
wild? Wasn't that something?
Yeah.
They don't mention the aliens.
Okay.
And if they do, I forgot about it.
Okay.
Okay. So
What's the premise?
when I walked out of the movie, okay, well, there's Archimedes built this like a clock. Okay, he built what's called the Dial of Destiny. Okay, and it's in two pieces.
Okay.
They have one piece.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the beginning of the movie
Yeah.
is probably the most badass thing you've seen in Indiana Jones, maybe out of the 5 of them. Okay,
Whoa.
so what they did was they own all of this, like hours and hours, hundreds of hours of footage of Harrison Ford
Okay.
from
Back in the day.
Yes, and they used that stuff to CGI and make old
Indie.
Indiana Jones when he was a kid.
They did like a
Y-
Robert Downey
youngster.
Jr. thing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but Marvel did it differently.
Okay.
I don't know how Marvel did it. I just know they did it differently.
Yeah.
Which raised the question: why didn't they just use this when they made the Solo movie? The beginning of the movie is where he and his buddy Basil find the
Is this Basil's first movie?
I think so. If he was
First
in the other
movie.
ones, I don't remember.
Okay.
So that's where they find half of the Dial of Destiny.
Okay.
Now, if they find the other half, then you put it together.
But he's young when they find the first half.
Yes.
Where is he in his time? Is he before Temple
he's
of
like
Doom?
80. He's retiring.
No, but when they find the first half, you said they.
I
Does it
don't-
go back in time and it's?
It's I don't know where.
Is it
how-
around the time of the Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if it was before Raiders or before Temple of Doom.
Okay.
Or I don't know where it fell. I just
Temple
know
of Doom was first. I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark was the first movie that came out, but Temple
Right.
of Doom was supposed to have happened before Raiders.
Right.
They did that when they put the box set out and like, what are you doing? Why did you do?
Why?
Who gives
Why?
a sh-?
There's no reason.
the
there's no
years-
reason to make that a prequel.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. Okay. Edge of your seat.
Mhm.
Honest to God. And it made me just kind of sad because I'm like, I'm 53 years old and I still haven't fought somebody on the top of a train. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, maybe I can keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah.
The premise is when they find the other half of the Dial of Destiny,
They can change the temperature.
they can
Because she keeps screwing with the thermostat.
She won't stop
So they
jacking
can,
with it.
they
Yeah.
can turn it back down to where
She
it's
makes
supposed
it
to
hot.
be.
He
Yeah.
makes it cold. Yeah. Archimedes designed this.
Yeah.
And it would make it possible to travel through time.
Oh.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's the premise.
They could go back and erase the,
The
crystal
Kingdom
skull.
of the Crystal Skull. Yes.
Okay.
So that's the premise.
Uh-huh.
And when I walked out of the theater, my initial review was it was great until it wasn't great.
Okay.
The more I think about it, the more I'm going to say the movie was great.
Okay.
Because when I look at the other 4 movies, every single one of them had, granted, Indiana Jones is going to fight 40 people. He's going to shoot all these people. When they shoot at him and they miss.
Yeah.
He shoots the people, he kills them. He can fight off 20 guys with a whip. He can fight somebody and kick them off a train. It's like all this stuff, like James Bond and Jason Bourne.
If I may,
yeah,
can I
it's
interrupt?
it's all this is just impossible. Yeah.
In my lifetime, Indiana Jones was the first real badass hero on the screen. Raiders
yes.
of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
He's all in the shadows,
Yes.
and he
The whip.
that shoots the guy that does
Yes.
the sword.
Yes.
Um,
And he did that because he had the
yeah.
flu.
Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
The whole movie
Mhm.
is worth the part where Indy's in the bridge in the middle with the thing, and he
He
goes,
cuts it. Yep.
That.
Yeah.
The Last Crusade, I think, is a perfect Indiana Jones movie
Yeah.
from beginning to end.
I agree.
Like, that is it.
I agree.
Crystal Skull, it's like,
What happened?
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it.
I did not.
I still did.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I did not.
So-
Which made me feel horrible
Part
because
of the reason I don't want to watch Dial of Destiny
Mhm.
is because I don't want it. I want there to still be an Indiana Jones movie that's out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't want
it ain't
once you watch
happening.
it, it's over.
yeah, it ain't happening. So I'm not going to spoil any more of it,
Okay.
but after I've given it some thought, all of the other movies went from being impossible but kind of plausible,
Uh huh.
right?
Yeah.
But then they would go out of their Like, okay,
Yeah. Melt
that's
the
not,
faces, the
melt
heart, the
face,
guy's still
pulling the guy's heart out, and then the aliens, and then what happened? At
Last Crusade became immortal.
Last Crusade, they poured the water from the chalice of Christ.
He drank it. So
he drank
Sean
it.
Connery should still be wandering
He
hard,
should-
and he's not.
Wait a minute. Why wasn't he alive in the other movies?
Yes.
With
He
the
should be.
Yeah,
Technically, he should be.
there's a plot hole.
Yeah.
That's the only.
And why is Indy old? Because Indy drank it too, didn't
That's
he?
the only plot hole in that movie.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what happens at the end of Dial of Destiny wasn't any more out of the ordinary than what happened in the other movies.
Yeah, they all take something that's
Yes.
like a real mystery,
Yeah.
and then they go just a step beyond reality.
Yeah.
Each of them, which
So
makes it kind of cool.
I'm going to rank my 5
Oh.
Indiana Jones movies. Number 1, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Boom.
Number 2.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Okay.
Number 2.
Uh-huh.
Number 3.
Number 3, I'm going to give it to Dial of Destiny.
Number 4.
Kate Capshaw annoyed me to no end. Her annoyance in that movie.
Yeah.
Biggest trouble with her is the noise.
She was so annoying that Short Round was losing his with her, and Indy was losing his patience with her, which was comic relief.
Yeah.
But the comic relief wasn't enough to overpower her being annoying.
Yeah.
So that's why Temple of Doom
Yeah.
is ranked 4th.
Number 5.
And then if I could rank Kingdom of the Crystal Skull at number 17. That's where I rank
Okay.
my Indiana Jones movies.
Okay. We watched Jaws while we were in Destin.
Oh, you went to the beach and watched Jaws.
Yeah, we watched Jaws one
Yeah.
night, and the next night we watched The Meg.
Okay.
Which I'd actually seen The Meg before,
Yeah.
and I thought it sucked. And then
Yeah.
when we watched it again at the beach, I was like, this is not. If you go into it knowing that it's,
Yeah.
then it's better than
We watched a couple of movies of the Aliens marathon.
really.
Yeah. And the kids were all eating it up, loving
Let
it.
me ask
Yeah.
you this: Have
Yeah.
you seen Prometheus and the newer ones?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to ask because
They don't have Sigourney Weaver in them, do they?
no.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoy them.
Yeah.
But then some people like it's like you either love them and you want them to keep making those, or you hate them and this is a blight on society.
Yeah.
One more thing
Yeah.
about movies, and
Okay.
then we can get done
Yeah.
with movies. Have you heard about and seen the trailer for Napoleon?
Yeah. Saw it today.
Oh,
Yeah.
that looks so good.
Let's go. Ridley Scott.
I'm so excited that somebody's making a movie about Napoleon, and it's not Napoleon Dynamite.
Right.
And it doesn't make him look goofy. Because I don't remember much about history, but what I remember about history, like Napoleon's always portrayed as like this short little dude with his hand on his tummy.
Yes.
And but then you read about him in history, he like conquered most of the world. He was a badass.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop him. And I think he ended his life being exiled. Spoiler.
Yeah.
On an island somewhere.
Yeah.
But he was like an absolute.
They didn't.
No. They
Okay.
exiled him. Well,
Okay.
I mean, he was exiled because I remember that bothered me as a kid. I'm like, they just took him on a boat out to an island and said, "Okay, see you later," and left. That's basically what.
That's
they
what
did.
you get.
That's
Yeah.
what you get.
Yeah.
They may have, they may have sent somebody over to kill him later, but I think that's what they just exiled him.
Yeah.
What is your favorite moment from Irritable Dad Syndrome? Tell us now on our Facebook or at irritabledadsyndrome.com.
And Libby said, "So what's the deal with those gummy nerds that Mike was talking about? Are they here? Do you see them?" And I'm looking for them, and I can't find them anywhere. They're not with all the other snacks.
You got it.
Which
There's
is
a guy
weird.
out back.
You gotta
around the
get
corner.
in the van. Yeah. They weren't with any of the snacks. Well, we turn around, and there, not where it's supposed to be, is one bag of gummy nerds.
You dove to get it.
Yeah, I grabbed it. It's like $6, I think.
Yeah.
They're worth every cent.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, so I bought it. We go to the car, and I'm totally expecting Libby to not like the gummy nerds. She puts one in her mouth and goes, "Okay,
Yeah. See?
okay."
Yeah.
Takes another one, and then she seals them, folds them, and puts them away from everybody.
You kill the bag.
I was like, "What are you doing?" She
Yeah.
goes, "We're going to eat all of them." I'm like,
yeah.
"So?"
Yeah.
She rationed them from me, the man, the husband.
back in the day, that would have been
the patriarch of the family.
Okay.
I am the elder of this family.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it once about gummy clusters. The Nerds gummy clusters.
Gummy nerds.
Gummy nerds.
God.
They
So good.
seem like they seem like whatever candy.
Yeah.
Like zero candy bars and the Charleston Chew are disgusting and they seem disgusting.
The Charleston
I'm not
Chew.
sure if that's a candy bar or something I saw on Cinemax.
Max.
Yeah, they seem disgusting. Nerds clusters is like you're like I'm just gonna try one. I mean, this is gonna be disgusting, and you have one, and everyone has the same reaction.
Okay.
I stole an entire bag of those from my kid in the movie theater, and literally robbed him of his clusters. I'll hold these, and just tore through the bag.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
It's absolutely amazing because I'm not a fan of gummy bears.
And the gummy is not...
It's like I'll eat a gummy bear. I don't mind them.
I have separated the nerds from the gummy because I was like, is it the gummy or is it the nerds? The gummy is not top tier gummy.
No, it's
just gummy.
It's the combination.
It's the combination.
Yeah.
The nerds are like by themselves, it's just nerds.
Yeah.
The gummy by itself is just like mid-range gummy, like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull gummy.
Yeah.
You put them together, holy bejesus.
Yeah.
It's like peanut butter and jelly, nerds and gummy.
Yes. No, because with gummies, if you eat gummy bears just by themselves, they get like stuck in your teeth.
Well,
not with the nerds.
Yeah, that's right. And they hit you with that tartness, and you're just like, and then the gummy comes in, sweet. And it's like, and it leaves just an amazing aftertaste of like the nectar of the lords.
Yes.
It's amazing. And it tees you up for the next one.
Yeah.
I had 2 that time. What happens if I put 3 in my mouth? You throw a 4-banger or a 5er in there?
A 4-banger.
I had a 4-banger a couple of nights ago.
Cinemax.
Passed right out. Thank God I set my alarm. I would have slept through work. These things are amazing.
Yeah. Guys, we're out of time. We'd like to thank you for listening to this episode of Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Been for a while.
You know what? I'm not even going to tell them to go to IrritableDadSyndrome.com.
They should.
I do that every week.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Yeah.
So this week I'm not going to mention go to IrritableDadSyndrome.com.
Yeah.
I'm not even
mention that you can search
No.
for old episodes. You can just
not
put
gonna do that.
a topic in, it'll come up. Type in Tom Cruise. Go there and type in Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
We've had a few episodes where we
Yeah.
talk about Tom Cruise.
Yeah, we're not going to mention
They'll all
that.
pop up. We won't mention that.
I'm not even going to ask them to go to Patreon.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to mention the fact that we have new coffee mugs with our new logo on it.
Oh, yeah.
And if you go to our Facebook page, we have actual photos
Photographs.
of Shadow Stevens
Yes.
and Haywood Banks holding their coffee mugs.
Yeah, we're not gonna mention
They
that.
were guests on our show.
Right.
And they got mugs for being guests on our show. Yeah.
And patrons,
Not gonna mention it.
here's a fun thing for patrons.
Yeah.
We have the merch tier.
Yeah.
Those have all been filled in. That's another thing I did while I was on vacation.
Yeah.
I created, I didn't create. I uploaded the poster that our friend of the show, Jeff Brown, created.
Yeah.
So that's there. And there's a t-shirt
When
now.
are those coming out?
Those are there.
Okay.
So if you're a patron for 3 months, you get a mug. After 6 months, you get, I think it's a poster.
Yeah.
After 9 months, you get the t-shirt. And then the final one is the hoodie.
Yeah. But we're not talking about that because we
We're
always
not going
do.
to talk about that.
And nobody
So
cares.
The problem is the mug has been there forever. What I learned is that when I made all that stuff go live this weekend, it kind of reset the timer on the internet. So for long-term merch members, we may do something for y'all.
Yeah.
The longer-term guys.
Yeah. We're going to shut up and get off of here.
Yeah.
We hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darin Cox production. Copyright 2023. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of this podcast without the express written consent of Mike Odell or Darin Cox or me, I'm Dave Lay, is strictly prohibited.
That would have made a better movie. I got to sneeze. Hold on. 163 episodes. I haven't sneezed yet.
All right. Try this again. All that, plus Dave's cats are pissing him off on the next Irritable Dad Syndrome. Dave has a noisy chair. Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, made with high fructose... Come on. I know there's going to be a cat that's going to meow. This phone's going to go off. Join us for that, plus your 7-day forecast on the net. You son of a... Dave's phone goes off again. Next on Irritable Dad Syndrome.